It's really important that the students know how to hold a chicken properly, how to pick it up and how to handle it, because if it's being held properly, then it feels secure and it's a lot less flighty. Show chickens, it's much easier for them. They get less stressed if they're used to being handled, because when they go to the show, they get picked up by judges and looked at. And if they're used to handling, they're nice and calm. Show time's a really exciting time of year for the students, especially when they've got their own chicken and they're going to be getting it ready to go in one of the shows. The process of getting them ready usually starts 1 or 2 days before the chickens have to be taken into the show. And that process involves washing them and giving them a pedicure and having them look the best they can possibly look. So we start the process by clipping their toenails, and if they're roosters, they need to have their spurs clipped to make sure they're not sharp or too long. Once they've had their toenails clipped, they then go into a tepid temperature bath of Lux Flakes. The students just flush the water around the body of the chicken and under the wings, and then they move the chicken into the rinsing tub. That's also tepid to warm water. They rinse off all the Lux Flakes. And if they happen to be a white chicken or have predominantly white feathers, we finish them off with Bluo, which is just a very small amount of that Bluo mix mixed with water, and that helps to bring the white out in the chickens. So once they've had those 3 steps of washing, they then get wrapped in a towel and gently towel dried, which doesn't dry them completely, so their final stage in the washing is to blow dry them. The students use hair dryers to blow dry the chickens, and that can take a little bit of time depending on the time of year. If it's summer, it's obviously a little bit quicker. Once they've been blow dried, the chickens end up outside for a few hours in the sun just to completely dry them off. And then the final touches on the day of the show before they go in is to put some baby oil on their combs and some Vaseline on their legs. And that just helps the colour and makes them look really beautiful. Different breeds of chickens do have different temperaments, but one of the most important things is handling chickens from a young age. At Galston, because we do a lot of the incubating ourselves, the students have the opportunity to get to know their chickens right from when they're first hatched. And that's a really important thing because they form a relationship with that bird, but that bird also gets very used to being picked up and handled and washed and gotten ready for showing. Closer to showing, we need to separate some of the birds, so probably a month before the show we might take the roosters out and put them in separate cages so they don't peck feathers out of the hens. And just to get those birds used to being in a cage on their own, we separate as many as we can. And then when they get to the show and they're in separate cages, they don't feel so stressed.